Power doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it smiles. Sometimes it even pretends to protect you. And that is why most people misunderstand power their entire lives. They look for it in job titles, in money, in loud voices, and visible authority. But real power, true power, often wears something far more dangerous: a mask. This episode explores the psychological framework revealed in the 77 Masks of Human Power by von Piseth, a work that maps how human beings hide, survive, influence, dominate, and protect themselves through invisible roles. These aren't costumes. They aren't just characters. They are deeply ingrained behavioral identities. Because the truth is simple and it's unsettling, human interaction is not honest by default. It is theatrical. Most people never realize they are standing on a stage. Welcome to Sethtra Books. This is not a video about becoming manipulative. This is a video about seeing clearly. Because the most dangerous form of power is the one you never, ever notice. Imagine everyday life for a moment. A family dinner, a tense workplace meeting, a friendship that feels just slightly unbalanced, a leader who never raises their voice, yet everyone in the room instinctively obeys. Behind every single one of these interactions is intention. And behind every intention is a mix of fear, desire, or strategy. The 77 Masks of Human Power organizes these behaviors into multiple psychological realms, or battlefields, because people don't wear masks randomly. They wear them according to the battlefield they are standing on. The first battlefield is survival. These are not villainous masks. Far from it, they are born from pain, from punishment, from moments in our past when honesty was unsafe, when being visible brought harm, when speaking freely had terrible consequences. So people adapt. They learn to become agreeable. They learn to become quiet. They learn to become invisible. These survival masks keep people alive, but they also keep them small. Many of us never leave this realm. Our bodies grow older, but our nervous systems remain trapped in those earlier fears. For these individuals, power becomes nothing more than avoidance. The second battlefield is control. This is where power becomes subtle. It's not aggressive, it's not loud, it's elegant. Some of the most dominant individuals you'll ever meet do not argue, threaten, or command. They control through silence, through timing, and through emotional gravity. They ask questions instead of giving orders. They pause when others desperately seek their approval. They allow uncertainty to do all the heavy lifting for them. This is how dominance survives without leaving any fingerprints. The third battlefield is perception. Here, power no longer needs to push. It simply reshapes reality. Social engineers don't control people directly. They control what feels normal. They influence our beliefs, our expectations, and our emotional baselines. When they're successful, their victims don't feel oppressed. They feel guided. Dependence quietly replaces freedom. People actually feel grateful for the direction, all while their options are shrinking around them. This is why awareness matters so much more than aggression, because the most effective traps always feel comfortable. The fourth battlefield is manipulation, but not the kind you're thinking of. This isn't manipulation through violence, but through softness. It's the generosity that creates an invisible debt. It's the help that slowly removes your independence. It's the kindness that implicitly expects your loyalty. These masks don't threaten you. They bind you. And people stay inside these structures because the cage doesn't hurt. It feeds you, it protects you, it reassures you. Until one day, leaving feels completely impossible. The fifth battlefield is rebellion. You see, not all masks exist to control. Some exist to resist. When pressure becomes unbearable, humans don't always fight openly. They encode their resistance into art, into humor, into storytelling, symbolism, and even into silence. Throughout history, hidden meaning has survived where direct orders failed. These masks don't seek dominance, they seek dignity. They remind us that power is not only about ruling. Sometimes, it's simply about refusing to disappear. The sixth battlefield is the future. Here, power becomes invisible once again. The architects of the future don't rush. They don't seek attention. They don't announce their intentions. They build quietly, over time, planting systems instead of creating moments. They understand something most people don't. Speed attracts eyes, but patience shapes generations. Their mask is being underestimated, and they wear it willingly, happily, because it's their greatest advantage. The seventh battlefield is currency. And I don't mean money. I mean trust, morality, sacrifice, suffering, and reputation. Every single environment, every room you walk into, runs on a hidden currency. Some people trade in loyalty. Others trade in pity. Others trade in virtue, or even in pain. Those who misunderstand the currency of a room can be wealthy and still be completely powerless. True power belongs to those who know what is really being exchanged, and more importantly, why. And finally, we arrive at the last battlefield. This isn't about domination or rebellion. It's about awareness. The 77 masks of human power ends with two master states. These aren't roles, but conditions of perception. The first is the unmasker. This is the person who quietly breaks illusions just by naming what everyone else pretends is normal. They do this not to humiliate, but to reveal. These individuals are often resisted, not because they're wrong, but because they interrupt comfort. The truth always destabilizes a scripted reality. The final state is adaptability. This is the individual who is no longer defined by a single mask, who can enter any environment without losing their identity, who cannot be controlled through praise or insult, through fear or approval, because they understand the game without being trapped inside of it. This isn't the absence of masks, it is the power of choice, and that is the real message behind this entire framework. Power does not begin when you learn to dominate others. Power begins when you stop being blind. Sethtra Books exists to decode ideas just like this. We're not here to entertain, but to sharpen your perception, to help you recognize patterns before they become prisons. If this episode unsettled you, that means it worked. Because comfort rarely leads to clarity. Subscribe to Sethtra Books, where books are not summarized, they are decoded. Once you see the mask, you can never unsee it. And from that moment forward, power stops being something done to you and becomes something you finally understand.